I want to bring next here a person who's going to talk to you about the very, very important race for the United States Senate. Now, this race is important for many, many reasons. And it has high symbolic value because this is the Barack Obama former U.S. Senate seat, now President Obama. And for the Republican Party to recapture that United States Senate seat, it would be a bigger earthquake than the election of Brown in Massachusetts was this past Tuesday. There are two gentlemen running for office to be the Republican nominee for the United States Senate, Congressman Mark Kirk and this gentleman who is putting up a vigorous campaign in this very important election year. So if you would please help me welcome Patrick Hughes, candidate for the United States Senate and the endorsed candidate of the Lyons Township Republican Party.
Good morning, folks. When I first met Tony, it was at an event, and I had just started in politics because this is my first foray into politics. But I have to tell you, in this election cycle has been a tremendous benefit. And one of my supporters was there complaining about how one of my opponents was attacking me. And Tony walked by and he said, "What's going on?" I said, "Oh, this guy's out attacking me on the internet and everywhere else." And Tony said, "You ever been shot at?" I said, "No." He's like, "Oh, you're doing fine. You're doing fine." And that's how Tony and I became friends. He's a great guy. He's a great leader, and we need to keep him in the various offices that he holds so that we can continue taking the fight to the folks that want to get in our back pockets, who want to take our money, and who want to, broker away the future of our children. Tony is terrific. What Scott Brown did in Massachusetts was establish that a Republican could win in a decidedly blue state. But that's not all he did. What he also established is that a Republican can win in a blue state and not sacrifice the values of our Republican Party. We are the party of Reagan conservatism. We are the party of limited government, of low taxes. That'll lead to economic growth, which leads to job creation. And when people have jobs, they can go home at night and they can spend time with their family, they can feel comforted, and they can live their version of the American dream. We are not the party that supports massive legislative schemes like health care and cap and trade. Cap and trade is the largest tax in American history. It is the largest transfer of power from you to the federal government since at least the New Deal policies, and in our state, which has a $11 to $14 billion budget deficit and relies on manufacturing, agricultural, oil production, coal production for our economic growth, it will wipe us out. We're at 11% unemployment. We will long for 11% unemployment if cap and trade passes, if the health care bill passes. As your senator, I will oppose cap and trade, health care, and any other Democratic boondoggle that will put us out of business. We need to get the government out of our way so that we can live the American dream, so we can get them off of the backs of the small business owner and the medium business owner so that they can invest in our economy and so that we can grow jobs. We have to get back to our traditional values that have led us from the inception of our country all the way to today. Those are the values that we need to represent. We need to protect our constitutional rights. I'm a supporter of concealed carry. I think our Second Amendment is the Second Amendment for a reason. We're allowed to protect ourselves against tyranny of any kind, including a tyrannical government. Tell the government to get off the backs of our constitutional rights, and tell politicians who want to do that to get off our backs as well. Health care reform. The health care plan is a giant mistake, and I'm so glad that Scott Brown is there to help prevent it from getting passed. We need to do three things with respect to health care that'll drive costs down, increase accessibility, and get us back on the path. and that is number one, allow us to buy insurance across state lines. We're not allowed to do it right now. If we do, it'll drive costs down and more people will have access to affordable health care. Second, eliminate mandates. Do you want the government to tell you what kind of health care you can and cannot buy? I don't. We're Americans. We can decide for ourselves what health care we want to buy. And third, tort reform. Who wants serious tort reform? So we can get the trial lawyers out of the pockets of the Democrats and so that we can get the monkey off the back of our doctors so we can drive costs down. As your senator, I will promote serious and effective tort reform in our government. Like I said, I'm actually brand new to this, but I have gotten tremendous response from all over the state and now from all over the nation. Conservatives, national conservative leaders, folks like Mark Levin and Laura Ingraham and others, support my candidacy, and there is a groundswell of support in the movement to make Illinois the next Massachusetts in 10 days, and we're going to do it. And you've already done so much, and I appreciate your endorsement and your help. But let's not stop here. Let's keep going. If you send me to Washington, I will embody the values that are your values and the values of this party because they're my values, and I will speak with your voice. And if you stand with me on February 2nd, on February 3rd, and every day after that, I will stand with you. Because I know what you know. When our government grows, our liberty contracts. When we forfeit our constitutional principles, we lose what our forefathers left to us. And when we damage the moral fabric of our nation, we damage our national soul. And the combination of those things, if they're allowed, will destroy the thing that makes us who we are, and that's our American spirit. And it's that spirit that we have to fight for every day. It's that spirit and restoring it that is the purpose of the second half of my life. And I know on the 2nd of February and on the 2nd of November, we are going to start the rebirth of the American spirit and make this state and this party and this nation great again. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America.
Patrick Hughes, candidate for United States Senate.